Hey guys, it's Toboloco here, back with the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil game. Today, we are going to be Russia. It's time to beat Russia right now, because I was like, you know what? I've complained about Russia so much on the 2010 game, and 2018, and 2006 as well. Remember, we got, like, all these teams that we got to play through. There's going to be like, I don't know how many gameplays it's going to be. You think each country is going to have about 3 or 4 gameplays each if you're lucky. I don't even know if Russia are any good in 2014. The only Russia I already know that did well in a World Cup was 2018. Obviously beating Spain on penalties and advancing to the quarterfinals where they got eliminated by Croatia on penalties. So these are the groups, but obviously they're a little bit too close to their normal 2014 groups, so we're going to simulate them in 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, so we've got Group F, Russia, Korea Republic, England and the Netherlands. A very tough group, a lot of big teams in there. I'd say obviously Korea Republic are the smallest team in there. But yeah, like I said, we'll always give these things a really good go and see how far we can take Russia. So as usual, we always look at the squads before we start our first match, and our first match will be against Korea Republic. So obviously there are some recognisable names on Russia's team, of course. They're a big country, there's some good Russian footballers around the world, especially back in 2014. We've got Akinfev, the goalkeeper, Berezuski, who's a very decent defender, Ignacevic, I've heard of him. Denisov, yeah. Bystrov, yeah, he's pretty quick on the last FIFA games anyway, in like 2012 and 2010 and stuff like that. We got Kokorin, who's a decent light striker. He plays on wing for some reason, but yeah. We've got Kurzhakov, who was in obviously 2010, who's always scored against me in my runs in 2010. Who else have we got here? We got Glushakov, I've heard of him. We got Zuzev, who obviously is a very decent player for Russia. We've got another Berezuski here. Apart from that, there seems to be no other players that I really know of, but I will throw on Zuzev, because I do know he is a very decent player. Here we are then, our first match of this World Cup against South Korea. I'm fairly sure Russia did actually play against South Korea in 2014 World Cup. I'm not sure how well Russia did in the 2014 World Cup. I can't even remember how good of a campaign they had. Like I said, 2018 is the only noteworthy one, and I only really think, obviously 2018 they had a good squad, but because they were hosting the tournament, obviously they got the home backing behind them and everything like that. It's going to be interesting to see how well we do in this one. It's quite extraordinary, well, a little bit anyway, that a big country like Russia hasn't actually done more at World Cups. Son Heung-min out on the wing. A lot of people have asked me to do South Korea as well. Maybe that could be my next run on this game, since we've done North Korea a hell of a lot of times. We haven't even touched South Korea yet. We're just going to see if we can manoeuvre our way past. We can't. Remember, 2014 is probably one of the harder games out of the ones that I play. Only because, obviously, I'm not very good at it. Not the start that I've really wanted from Russia. Seems a little bit disjointed across the whole field. Russia are a 4.5-star team, despite the fact that most of the ratings at the start of the screen were around about in the high 70s. And I was like, well, that's quite a low-ranking 4.5-star team, don't you think? I'm struggling to tackle South Korea. Like, they just, every time I make a tackle, they're just like, no, we're not going to let you do it. South Korea still got it, and they scored. That was poor defending by us. And that's 1-0. I mean, they were just all over me from start to finish from that move. I just couldn't get rid of it, and Russia conceded. It's a bit annoying how I couldn't really deal with it. Are we going to have a really bad run with a country that's rated 4.5 stars? I really hope not. I was kind of thinking maybe quarter-final for this, if you want my early prediction, but currently we're 1-0 down to South Korea, who are technically the weakest team in the entire group. If you look at it from star rating, maybe not talent-wise. Obviously they got Son and they got a few other players that can really hurt us, but yeah, only 1 shot each. It's been a bit of a dull game. Oh, that was just horrendous, that pass. I just cannot do anything against South Korea at the moment. It feels like South Korea are way better, they're faster, they're stronger somehow. Oh, I'm struggling, guys. I'm really struggling. Like, this is the first match in a while where I felt like I've had absolutely nothing from it. And it's surprising me, because it's South Korea. I'm not saying South Korea are bad, not a chance. Like, they are a good football team, but I just felt like it was going to be a bit more competitive. Look, I just cannot seem to do anything. Here comes South Korea for another attack. It gets blocked, and this match has been an utter disaster. An utter disaster. There's 12 seconds left plus added time. Russia have just not been here. That was horrendous. I'm very, very disappointed in Russia here. They have not done anything. Nothing at all. That was awful. Absolutely dreadful. Like, that football on display was so, like, anti-attack. It was so anti-attack. Look how many shots I had. Look at that. Look at those stats right now. Look. One shot, one on target the whole game from Russia. One shot, one on target. That was the most boring game ever. They had 37% possession. 37. This team needs a shooting drill, because they just need to learn how to attack. Like, it was an absolutely abysmal performance by Russia in that game against South Korea. Honestly, I've never played so badly before with any nation. Our second match is Russia versus England. Capello meets his old international team to see if he can try and topple England so that Russia can finally get some points in this group. Getting forward, Russia were just terrible. They were really terrible getting forward, and I really hope that we can change that against England. Maybe England have a different philosophy when it comes to, like, defending or whatever, but let's see if Capello can get one back on the England team that he failed with in 2010. Oh my god, it just keeps getting cut out. I don't understand how these nations are playing so well against me. Am I really that bad at this game? I thought I was improving, but Russia have kind of, like, brought me back down to the ground and said, no, Toboloco, you suck at this game. The touches by Russia are not the mark of a professional football team. They're just not. Oh, so frustrating when you can't get anything going because there's a mixture of, like, just poor play from the team you're playing as and the game's mechanics getting in the way. Okay, well, that's something. Come on, Russia. Use that strength, for goodness sake. We've made it to half-time and we haven't conceded, so that's okay. But again, it's been incredibly boring. Like, it's backing up my point so much that Russia are a very defensive team. They are. Like, anybody who says otherwise, like, never watches these gameplays. Never. Because they never ever tend to, like, destroy, like, teams on this game. They always tend to rely on their defence on these games anyway. I'm not saying in real life. But look at that. Again, another terrible half. Look at that pass. Are you kidding me? This is Russia? A 4.5-star team? Give me a solid reason why this team is 4.5 stars. Come on, game. Give me a solid reason. Here we go. Out on the wing. This should be a goal, right? I mean, that's crossed in, headed, and Joe Hart had to save it. That was our first real chance of the game. There's nobody here that can actually, like, go forward or anything like that. I mean, these players, right? It's a 4.5-star team, but most of them are rated, like, in the high 70s. That doesn't scream to me a 4.5-star team. That screams to me like a 3.5-star team or, you know, a 4-star team at least. It shouldn't be 4.5 stars. It's very, very deceptive. Come on, Shirkov. Go on. Oh, it's blocked. Like, I had a clear shot on goal there, and it's blocked. And again, saved by Joe Hart. We've had more shots. But again, nothing is materialising. There's no fight in Russia. There's no heart. There's no desire to push forward. It's been a terrible, terrible campaign. And we can only hope that the Netherlands roll down for us in the last match because it's just been dreadful. Just been absolutely dreadful. England have been super defensive. It was kind of more England's fault that that game was boring. And again, Russia literally send the world to sleep with their footballing ability. I'm not being, like, you know, biased or anything like that. It's just how I see it on the game. And I'm trying my hardest to get through these defences, trying my hardest to play decent football, and it's not happening because of the players on the pitch. Well, I mean, there's really no point in doing a proper drill. I'm just doing pace just because I got the Netherlands in the last match, and if it's anything to go by from the last two matches, we're just going to either draw or lose. We've been in really, really bad form, not very entertaining football at all. And the thing is as well, what I like to usually do on this channel, if I do bad, then I'll still put out the video because obviously, you know, it's more genuine putting out something like that than rather than keep like redoing it until you get a good run, because that's just disingenuous. If a team's bad, I will showcase it. Our last match is against the Netherlands, and we've yet to score a goal. We've yet to really light up this World Cup at all. We have one last chance. We are hanging in there by a thread. If the Netherlands want to end my campaign, they better do it swiftly and quickly so they can just end my pain and suffering. I just hope that Russia, even if they go out here, can display a little bit of heart and a little bit of desire to try and fight for their place at this World Cup. Why on earth? Oh wow, that was close. Akinfev with a great save to deny the Netherlands. Come on. That's a decent ball. Come on. Oh, head that. That's a decent header, and we scored, finally! A random header, and Cochrane scores to make it 1-0. That was super lucky, guys, super lucky. I didn't even deserve that goal because we through-balled it, and it went straight to the guy who missed the initial shot, and the rebound just happened to come to the guy on the edge of the box. Well, not the edge, but the middle. And Vaughan should have saved that easily. But Russia finally got a goal at this World Cup. A really, really long and tiresome group stage has finally resulted in a goal. As the referee blows for half-time, Russia are leading thanks to a very lucky goal, but it could potentially put us through to the next round, even though we really don't deserve it because we've been pretty terrible in the first couple of matches. We just got lucky here with this goal. And yeah, hopefully we can hold on to it and extend this run for another round. South Korea are somehow beating England 1-0. Alright, Netherlands looking to try and play Jeremy Lenz. It's tackled though. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? Great save though. That was such a bad ball by me. Why do I like pass it across the box like that? That is horrendous. Oh, that was a fantastic tackle. Good anticipation, and we score. Nice one. It's 2-0. That was great by Bystroff. The anticipation in that was exceptional, to slide in before the guy even had the chance to turn around. It was just great because they couldn't react to it quick enough, and we scored off of it, and that's what you love to see. That kind of play I could have used against South Korea. There we go. Russia won, but did we get through? It doesn't look like it from the celebrations. Usually when you get through in the group stages, the confetti comes down and everything like that. I'm not too sure if we got through. It might have been too little too late. Good result, really good result. We improved Russia. From the first game we were terrible, second game we were below average, and this game we were pretty decent. So what does this mean for the group then? Can we have a look and see? Oh, we snuck in, I think. Unless the game's glitching on me or whatever, but we snuck in with 4 points and a better goal difference than South Korea. They've conceded 5, we only conceded 1. We were lucky then, we were really lucky to get this win against the Netherlands. Okay, so let's have a look at our round of 16 matchup. So, we have Brazil versus Australia, Italy versus Ukraine, Greece versus Spain, France versus Uruguay. We've got Germany versus Russia, so that's obviously our next opponent. So like I said, round of 16 run, 100%, but if we can get past that, we've either got Nigeria or Mexico because they play each other, England versus Portugal, and Argentina versus Japan. We just as well do another pace drill because I just can't see us beating Germany, but at least we pushed this run to, I feel, the very limit. I just don't feel that Russia are going to get past the round of 16. Round of 16 time against the Germans. So, obviously, 2014 Germany, they won the whole tournament, so they're going to be one of the strongest teams, or if not, the strongest team to play against. Going to be really tough. Phil Lahm out on the wing. Back to Muller, crosses it in, headed away. That terrible header, and off the post. We're just struggling, and oh, okay, well, it was an offside goal. I really don't hold high hopes for this one. I really don't. I'm scared of what Germany are going to do to me. Move the ball around quickly. Through ball, and that was not who I wanted to through ball it to. You all know who I wanted that to go to. Up to this guy. over the top. That's beautiful. But again, the touches let me down. We had a chance to test the German keeper and we just didn't take it. It's going to go to half time with the scores at 0-0. I'm quite surprised, really. Germany have scored a few offside goals though, which is quite worrying. But at the same time, Russia have done well. Okay, Germany starting to turn on the style a little bit more. Crossed in and it's headed in. Again, another defensive error. And Mario Gomez scores. I tried to clear it, but I couldn't do it. I'm just getting so sick of like stuff like that happening on the 2014 game. It really is just the most painful thing that happens on this game. If you have a look at this like replay here, tried to clear it, it bounced straight off of him, and he just heads it in. No? Oh wow, okay. Well that happened like light speed pretty much. I couldn't even do anything about it. Marco Reus scores. And that's it. That is game over. 100%. And Russia are out. They did not do very well at this World Cup, really. The only noteworthy result was getting a good result against the Netherlands. I'm just going to shoot. Let's just go for it. Okay, well, it kind of tested Neuer, but alright, well, we just got knocked out. I mean, if you want me to summarise this run, it was below average. Below average for a team like Russia. And I think they know it as well, and I think you guys know it. I did not play well in that run. So Italy won the World Cup on penalties versus Spain, and that has been your World Cup with Russia. I apologise that it wasn't the best episode in the world. You know, sometimes not all countries can have amazing runs in my World Cup runs. You know, like I said earlier, I do like to show the bad side of my runs. So if you did enjoy this video somehow, then give it a like and subscribe. Keep it loco as always, and I'll see you again for the next video.